I'm Kevin Harlan, ready to bring you all the action for.
Well, you know, the Bucks thought they had a plan to make a big push forward by pairing some talent together in the backcourt, but what seems to have happened is they are now mired in mediocrity, which is exactly where you don't want to be.
Tip-off goes to Milwaukee. The pass to Bledsoe. Passes it to Antetokounmpo. Bledsoe fires for three. Good on the shot. And back to Minnesota. They were the 8th seed in the East last year, but still finished 6 games under 500. Still a lot of work for them to get above 500 and be in a position where, Steve, they are, competing for home court in the playoffs.
Yeah, a lot of changes for the Bucks in the offseason. But a team that was able to sneak in last year, they're hopeful to make it once again this season. But it feels like they're kind of stuck in the middle right now. This is great. 3-pointers going down quickly at both ends.
Yeah, it took them no time to answer back on that possession.
Wide open look. Second shot opportunity. And, there's a whistle. He was going up for a layup. And while it looked like there was some contact, I wasn't sure they were going to call a foul shot or not. But sure enough, they have. So we've got a couple of free throws coming up.
Well, his shot blocking is always a factor, guys. That presence around the rim defensively just changes the whole picture strategically.
And I don't know of too many other players who are as solid as he is in the low post. Just watch how many times he'll get his man to go for his fake and leave his feet. He gets him up in the air and takes advantage of it. You know, when you get an influx of talent through the draft like the Rockets did prior to last season, the initial reaction is excitement. But then you think about, man, how are we going to get these guys ready to play NBA basketball? And the Rockets did a nice job by taking it easy and bringing them along slowly. Steady work at the free throw line. Just what we're used to seeing out of him.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
I had a chance to talk with head coach Mike Budenholzer. We talked about their strategy on how to contain Russell Westbrook, and he told me that Russell's at his best in the open floor. To counteract that, they'll try to make sure they get back on defense in a hurry and limit his chances to get out in transition and start setting up his teammates or throwing down dunks. Neither is a good option for them.
Great. Thanks for the report, Doris. And for the Rockets, you look at how that strategy worked out for them, and it was exactly what they needed. Got off to a quick start last year. And, Steve, toward the end, their rookies were fresh and able to contribute when it mattered most.
Kevin, it's hard for fans to see a player get drafted and not immediately see the floor, but a lot of times that's the best route. You give a player time to adjust, you make him earn it, and by the end of the season, he can be a very effective player. I think plenty of the Rockets players proved that last season.
The Rockets shooting their first free throws of the game.
Well, last season they only hit 71% of their free throws, so this is a continuing problem, guys.
And it's something they know that if they improve, can really have a big impact on their success. If you're in a fight to get into the playoffs out west like the Rockets were last season, you have to make sure you get every win you can when you play against the Eastern Conference. Their success against the Eastern Conference was a big part of how they squeezed that 8th seed.
Harden hits them both. Well, Clark, you were talking about the Rockets against the East, a record of 21-9 against the conference. And, Steve, it was one of the better marks in the West.
Yeah, it was the same win total as the Clippers and Thunder, who both won their divisions. So, only the Spurs and Grizzlies did better in that regard. The Rockets were full of scoring potential, and I think just happened to catch teams in the East off guard a little bit.
Houston's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter.
Don't let James shoot it.
Lets it go, and that's good for 2. For Milwaukee, they've gone 3 of 5 shooting the ball so far. Bledsoe kicks to Antetokounmpo. Bledsoe. Oh, good on the 3. Tries again. The shot's good from Antetokounmpo. Antetokounmpo's got his second basket.
They are really doing a nice job establishing a presence inside early.
And that's going to open things up for them on the perimeter going forward. But
Harden's shot is good.
It is so hard to contain him. He just seems to get it done however he has to do it.
Westbrook against Bledsoe. Antetokounmpo kicks to Bledsoe. They get the rebound.
You know, he's been off his game this quarter just a bit. Hasn't been able to get a whole lot to go so far.
The game now all tie.
They're off and running. Good start here. They've knocked down 4 of their first 5.
The Bucks have gone 50% from the field to this point, 4 of 8. He lobs up the alley-oop pass, and the dunk by Lopez. Stupendous rush to the rim and a mighty slam on the end of it.
But through the teeth of some pretty soft D, I can't help but say that.
well, let's see how that impacts things here, because those kinds of plays sometimes can be game changers on both sides.
Covington. That one wide left.
That's not a sight you see very often. I mean, he has a great feel for that jump shot, especially when he's open.
Bledsoe outside. Bledsoe gets the screen from Lopez. That 3 off the mark.
And it seems like nothing is falling for him this quarter. He's really out of his rhythm.
Covington. Bledsoe with the rebound. The Bucks have gotten 5 of 10 shots to drop in this game so far. Right at the 50% mark. Matthews, no good. Rockets trail. Now the feed to Tucker. Number 4. Drains it from beyond the arc. He has 7.
That is not enough coverage. Got to do better than that defensively. Basically no coverage. I mean, defense did not look very good there.
Here's Lopez. And again, the Bucks miss.
Kevin, I didn't like that defensive effort at all, but they're lucky he missed it.
Yeah, they were very lucky defensively because there was some miscommunication there. They left him wide open.
Now here's Matthews. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Antetokounmpo kicks to Lopez. Shoots from 12. And it's off the back rim. No good. Houston's gone 2 of 4 from beyond the arc to start the game. It's Westbrook with the drive. Number 4. Misses the 3. The Bucks trail. Bledsoe gets the screen from Antetokounmpo. That's a 2 from Matthews, and he knocks down the jumper. Here's Westbrook. And now the first timeout called here for the Rockets.
Well, the Bucks playing here at the BMO Harris Bradley Center, one of the older arenas in the NBA at around a quarter century. And the Bucks have said they'll leave Milwaukee after the 2017 season unless a new arena is built.
Houston, a whole new 5 on the floor. There's 1:17 left here in the first quarter. McLemore dishes to Rivers. Gordon the pass to Rivers. The feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful. And back to the arena situation here in Milwaukee. This is one of the smaller markets in the NBA. Steve, that can make it tougher to get an arena done.
Well, and there's a potential change in ownership that has loomed over the franchise as well. Obviously, we all want to see the team stay in Milwaukee. A lot of great history here going way back. So hopefully an arena deal will get done. Boy, he is a strong finisher on the fast break.
Yeah, he sure is. He remains in total control, even at full speed. I love that about him.
Now, here is Hill. 0. Sinks the three-pointer.
You might not think of him as a laser three-point shooter, but that shot was there for him, and he had to take it.
Gordon kicks to Rivers. Pass to Green. Chandler with the screen on Ilyasova. The drive by Green. Launches it. And the rebound goes to Lopez.
Really good performance so far on the boards for this club.
Boy, I like the way they've done a great job carving out space under the basket when the shots have gone up.
T2 from Hill. tie game in Milwaukee. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return. Well, we got a close game here as we get back to the second quarter. And look what we've seen from Milwaukee. What do you think, guys?
And the key has been the second chance points. You look at this team, the hustle that they play with, very impressive in that first quarter.
Well, it's showing up on the scoreboard. I mean, you get second chance points like that, it can add to your totals and also demoralize your opponent.
And here is Hill, following the three from Austin Rivers, 0. And another three for Milwaukee.
No matter who it is, that kind of defense is not going to cut it.
Houston's gone 3 of 7 tonight from three-point territory. Rivers kicks to Green. He feeds it to Rivers. Tried to answer back, but that three is off the mark. The Bucks shooting from the field, 44%, not bad. He dishes it to Ilyasova. Kicks it to Hill. Number 24, defended by Gordon, hit his foot. And the official saying it was kicked for the Rockets. And Mbaamute's checked in for Green. And Damari Carroll subbed in for McLemore. Quarter number 2 with just over a minute gone. Clock at 6. Number 24, the kick out to Williams. Elbow shot is on the way. Houston's gone 1 of 2 on three-pointers here in the second quarter so far. Feeds to Carroll. Puts up a 3. The shot is off. And Milwaukee will come the other way. Pass to Lopez. And the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a three-point play.
They've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball into the paint.
Yeah, they've been the aggressors, Clark, and getting the ball inside into that lane area has been huge for them.
And guys, let's get your take on the scoring breakdown so far for the Bucks.
And right from the start, guys, it's apparent they're determined to establish a presence in the paint.
Well, another thing that's immediately gone right for them is their three-point shooting. The Bucks actually made it back into the playoffs last season, but it wasn't because they were dominant at home. Only 21-20 at the Bradley Center, and those 21 wins were the fewest of any team that played in the playoffs.
Here's Carroll, and the 3 off target. And we're about 2 minutes into the second quarter here. Williams, defended by Gordon. Williams gets the bucket. Now it's a 5-point Bucks lead. Well, Clark, as you said, the Bucks didn't offer a lot as far as protecting their home court. In the end, it could come back to bite them as they lost 2 in a row on their home floor and got swept out of the playoffs, Steve, by Miami.
Well, that was a pretty tough matchup for anybody, but for Milwaukee, a team that was below 500, that was near impossible. But look, it was a struggle for the Bucks. We expected that, but getting to the playoffs was an accomplishment. We'll see if they can build on that this year.
And so it's Milwaukee now, following the 3 from Carroll. Tyson Chandler grabs the board. Houston's gone 2 for 5 from three-point land since the end of the first. Gordon dishes to Mbaamoute. An offensive rebound. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
And no question, he got bumped on that shot.
Definitely no room for discussion on that one. Houston found their way back into the playoffs last season, but really it wasn't because they were a tough team on the road. They only had 16 wins away from Houston last season.
The first free throw is good. And Clark, as you were talking about, the Rockets weren't nearly as troublesome to teams last year when they found themselves in the away locker room. Mostly, Steve, it came down to their offense not having quite as much punch.
Well, most teams don't score as much on the road as they do at home, but for the Rockets, 5 points differential between home and away is pretty dramatic, and I think that was one of the reasons why we saw them struggle when they left Houston and tried to get a win.
That one misses.
They've been strong on the boards. There's no disputing that.
That's what the box score says. Still anybody's game, though.
Korver, no luck.
The clear look at the hoop, he doesn't miss many of those.
Rivers with it. 5 points in the game. Harden the pass to Rivers. Houston moving it around. Carroll kicks to Harden. Hill pulls it in. The Bucks have gone 50% from the floor in the second quarter, 3 of 6. He kicks to Lopez. It's back to Hill. There's the dish to Middleton. Puts the lead pass in front of him. That's good. 8 points for Brook Lopez.
That's the third bucket in a row from the paint. This defense needs to clog those lanes in the middle much more effectively.
Yeah, and until they do, the problems inside are only going to get worse. Well, those chances are almost always 2 points for him. I guess the defense did what it had to do to bother him.
And out of bounds as the Rockets gain possession.
I tell you what, wandering aimlessly out of bounds like that might earn him a ticket to the bench.
And the Rockets making a change here. Rockets trail by 3. Outside Westbrook. Covington. No good. Some solid defense there from Antetokounmpo. And it's Bledsoe off the drive. Dishes to Korver from the arc. It's rebounded by Houston. Here's Tucker. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. And the pass to Harden. There's the feed to Tucker. From 13 feet, it goes down.
Easy little jump shot for him right there, guys.
For Milwaukee, they've gone 4 of 8 so far here in the second quarter. Bledsoe kicks to Antetokounmpo. Hit his leg. And they're saying he kicked the ball. Wesley Matthews checked in for Milwaukee. 1:56 left to play here in the second quarter. Here's Middleton. Just 4 to shoot. Bledsoe kicks to Antetokounmpo. Good, and Bledsoe gets the assist. Antetokounmpo's got 7 points. Rockets trail by 4. Outside Westbrook. The finger roll finish at the bucket.
Dropped that one in as soft as a feather using the finger roll.
Bucks have gotten just over 50% of their shots to drop here in the second quarter. They're 5 for 9. Here's Antetokounmpo. He's got 7. Middleton the pass to Antetokounmpo. He feeds it to Bledsoe. And another 3 for Milwaukee.
They brought up their three-point percentage this quarter. They're shooting it well right now. The defense may need to think about making some kind of adjustment to slow that down.
Houston's gotten cold from deep in the second quarter, just 2 of 6 from long range. Now a timeout called by Houston.
Well, after a brief 2-year drought, the Bucks got back to the playoffs this past season, but it wasn't pretty once they got there. With several guarantees from players about upsetting the Heat, they didn't win a single game and were swept by the Miami Heat.
And Westbrook, here we go. Wasted no time on that one. Westbrook's got 4 this quarter. Back to the Bucks in the playoffs. In every aspect, they were overmatched by the Heat, and no one really thought they would upset them. But many thought, Steve, that they would at least get a game.
Well, I wasn't one of them, Kevin. I thought they were overmatched from the start. And you could tell in that series, Miami wasn't even interested until the fourth quarter. They knew they could just flip a switch and beat this Milwaukee team. And that's exactly what they did. Yeah, he got whacked. Shouldn't be much debate on that one.
Yeah, that was as straightforward as it gets, guys.
The Rockets shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game. And the first one drops. Milwaukee making a switch here. He hits one and misses one, each at the line.
Well, this is what you have to do when you're trailing. You've got to attack, be aggressive, and get to that foul line.
And perhaps cause some foul trouble along the way. I mean, that can have a big impact down the road.
No good from Bledsoe.
They've been able to get out to this lead without really getting a very reliable performance out of him from the field.
Passes it to Westbrook. Fires from deep. Milwaukee with the rebound. Lopez has got rebound number 7 for him tonight. Second quarter ends in a tight one. Bucks ahead. They're up by 2. Folks, stay tuned for the halftime show with Damon Bruce for all the highlights from our first half.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Welcome, fans. We got a close game going on out in Orlando. A tight one for the Bucks, squaring off against the Houston Rockets. And give them credit defensively. They're boxing out, controlling their defensive backboards. Certainly an impressive start by Brook Lopez. He has 8 points and has been a huge factor on the glass. And not to be outdone, the Rockets also giving it their all. High speed, high energy. Every time they get the ball, they're off and running. Russell Westbrook off to a good start. He's picked up 4 points and has helped out a bit on the boards as well. Thanks so much for stopping on by. Third quarter just around the corner, so let's get on back out to Kevin and the crew.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
A view here from below, a statue that transcended Michael Jordan, the all-time great Chicago Bull.
Houston has their hands full guarding against Lopez.
He's got 8 points, and what a great game he's having on the boards, too.
Well, whatever he's done, make no mistake, his rebounding has been job number 1 for him. He's worked harder on the glass than anybody else in this game.
Number 4. The shot goes down and gets this game back to even. He's got 9. The Bucks shooting 43% from the field. Westbrook against Bledsoe. And he lobs it up. Tipped. Harden outside. He passes to Westbrook. Harden back to Westbrook. Houston moving it around. Harden kicks to Westbrook. Tucker dishes to Harden. Outside Westbrook. The basket drops, and he gets fouled on the shot. 1 free throw coming his way.
And that kind of power move has become a trademark for him.
And he'll be shooting his first free throw of the game here.
And he was up over the 80% mark from the free throw line last year. I'm sure he was pretty happy with those numbers.
That's it.
And about a minute of action so far in the third quarter. Bledsoe outside. No good from outside.
It's been a rough shooting night for him, but I don't mind that shot. He had a good look at it.
The shot's good from Westbrook.
Well, his body control is what I notice. I think that jumps off the page when you watch him play, even with the defender draped all over him. He's able to find a way to get to the rim and get the shot to go in.
And also, there are many players better at anticipating an opponent's next move, waiting for his moment, and then jumping in the way of a pass to come up with the steal. He's got that mastered.
Here's Westbrook after the made shot from Antetokounmpo. It's Westbrook with the drive. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. Westbrook's got 7 now in this quarter.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
Yeah, that's 5 of their last 6 baskets inside the lane. They have really established themselves inside.
And Milwaukee calls their first time out of the game.
He did not look too happy about some of the things he saw on the court. So I would expect some changes here.
I think it's the right move, quite honestly. I mean, they just didn't look sharp or at their best out there. So take the time out and give yourself a chance to regroup.
Houston on D. Bledsoe kicks to Matthews. pass to Antetokounmpo. Shot from 16. And another basket for Milwaukee.
Smart. Use that big height advantage. Get the shot off.
Well, it's hard to put a big man on him, Steve, that far from the hoop. I mean, he's versatile.
Now, here is Harden. 8 points for him. Tries from 10. Foul call on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Milwaukee needs to do a better job guarding against Harden.
He has 8 points, and he's made 3 shots at the foul line.
Well, that's important. I mean, get to the foul line. Any team, when you can outscore your opponent from the foul line, it's critical, and he's trying to do his part right there.
First one falls for it. And the Bucks making a change here. Harden hits them both. Bucks trail by 5. Back to Bledsoe. Trying to break that ice-cold streak. And it's another Milwaukee shot right there going in.
And they've made 3 of their first 4 shots here to start this half.
Second half of play with just under 2.5 minutes gone. Bledsoe against Westbrook. He dishes it to Harden. Blocked. They recover it. A nice shot by Tucker.
Just seems like they're finding an open lane to the hoop every time down. That's 5 buckets in a row for them in the paint.
Yeah, on the flip side, Steve, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior.
And so it's Milwaukee now. It's a 5-point game. 0 guarded by Harden. Step back on that one and let it fly. 8 points for him.
Everything's going right now. 4 for 5 shooting, 80%. They've got their offense clicking.
Westbrook against Bledsoe. And it's Westbrook missing. The Bucks have gotten 4 of their first 5 second-half shots to fall. 80% since the break.
Pretty bad defense, letting the offense get right to the rim, but smart play to foul once he was there.
But you know what's going to happen, and they send a message right there. Nothing easy inside.
For Milwaukee, they have made 3 free throws so far. Haven't missed any. That's good for Middleton. The Rockets making a switch here. Both free throws good for Middleton. Houston in the lead. Westbrook gets a screen from Green. And there's the whistle. Illegal screen.
You cannot afford to make mistakes like that here in a tight game. Well, good idea setting that screen, but the execution wasn't there.
No, it sure wasn't. I mean, you want it to be hard, but it also has to be legal.
Milwaukee making a switch here. Bledsoe's checked in.
You can see how much the defense respects him. I mean, they were all over him on that look.
For the lead. Misses off the left iron.
Well, I tell you what, that's too good a look to pass up there. Even though it didn't go, that's one you got to take.
Green, the pass to Gordon. Back to Green. 5 to shoot. Another miss by Houston. And the Bucks, they're shooting a hot 57% from the field in the third. Bledsoe dishes to Matthews. With the shot. Money from the wing. 10 points for him. Guys, we're not through 3 quarters of play, but 6 lead changes already in this one.
Yeah, it's been a really good game for sure. I mean, it looks like it's going to stay tight throughout.
Yeah, very competitive action. I agree with you, Clark. I mean, this one could come down to the last few minutes the way it looks.
And so here is Houston. following the bucket by the Bucks. Plenty of daylight on that shot.
Well, you know, when they need a big three, he's the guy they look to. He's about as reliable a deep threat as you're going to find.
And I tell you, another quality that separates him from the crowd is the way he will fight his way through any screen in front of him. I mean, he just takes pride in not losing his man easily.
Here's Antetokounmpo after Eric Gordon's bucket. 0. Buries it from three-point range. And the Bucks lead by 2.
And at the offensive end, he's done about as much as they could have hoped for today.
1:46 left in the third quarter. Now a timeout called by Houston.
Come on, Bradley Center. You better be making some noise for your energy.
And the Rockets making a change here.
One more time. Let him hear it.
Backing down is Green. Outside Gordon. There's a minute 34 left to play here in the third. It's Harden with the drive. Hits the difficult fadeaway jumper. Harden's got 12 points in the game. Milwaukee's gone 1 of 2 from beyond the arc since coming out of the break. And there's the pass to Antetokounmpo. Backs in. Bledsoe for 3. And another 3 for Milwaukee.
There's 6 points on consecutive 3 balls. They're finding holes in this defense.
It should be easy to correct, though, if you start making the right rotations defensively.
Gordon against Matthews.
Come get it. Come
Gordon
get it.
kicks to Harden. Takes the 3. No good. And Milwaukee will come the other way.
You know, not only is the game neck and tight, but the rebounding battle is too. Extremely close on the boards.
Yeah, both teams have really put in a terrific effort down low.
Now here's Bledsoe. 11 points in the game. Good.
Third 3 in a row right there.
Adjustment time for the defense, guys.
35 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. The drive by Gordon. A floater. Shot no good. Great D that time from Matthews. Bucks leading by 6. Bledsoe outside. We've got 13 seconds left here in the third quarter. Now here's Green. From deep Harden. And it would have counted had it fallen, but it's... We've got a great game on our hands as we welcome you back. The fourth quarter of action getting started. And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for Milwaukee.
Well, the great passing we saw in the first half has carried right over into the second.
Well, it's been a super performance from beyond the arc, too. I mean, they've been raining in those threes.
Now here is Hill. The feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful. Korver's got the first basket as we get going in the fourth for the Bucks. Now Rivers. Here's Tucker. Gets it to go from beyond the arc.
Another good offensive possession for him. He's trying to shoulder the load here for his team.
Outside Hill. Kicks it to Middleton. Feeds to Lopez. Tough to finish it off. Beauty. Well, now they're just going to town on him.
Yeah, you'd think these defenders would have done a little more to put a stop to that stuff, Kevin, but so far, no go.
Well, a phenomenal aerial assault there, fellas.
And it's the Rockets with the ball. After the basket by Milwaukee. Back to Westbrook.
Switch.
Number 4. And that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook.
For 3.
Westbrook's got 3 assists in the game. A few possessions into the fourth quarter, just over a minute played. Outside Hill. Pass to Middleton. From past the arc. The Rockets pull it in. Westbrook's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. The dish to Rivers. Oh, and there's the alley-oop. Throws down the alley-oop slam.
Incredible timing on the alley-oop.
He absolutely...
Guys, I think he feels like he can make a few improvements during this timeout. Just kind of make a couple of adjustments and get his club back on track.
You know, coaches are always tweaking and tinkering with things mid-game. Actually, sometimes they overdo it.
All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Yes, guys, Mike Budenholzer had some words for his team. We can't let up now. If we stay and make a few plays, we'll be right back in it. His message was clear. Stay the course, Kevin.
All right, Doris. And that's out of bounds. Milwaukee will retain possession.
That was an awfully risky pass, guys. Lucky it didn't wind up as a steal.
Well, it nearly did wind up as a steal, but no harm done in the end. They hang on to possession.
Eric Bledsoe is checked in for Milwaukee. Passes it to Antetokounmpo. 6 to shoot. Hits the fadeaway. And the Bucks lead by 4.
You know, nobody responds to end-of-game pressure like this guy. That's what comes to mind immediately for me. He's hit some monumental shots in his career. And some guys just embrace the moment at the end of the game. That's him.
And Steve, near the bucket, he's one of the best finishers around. I mean, he does a great job of using his strong body to fight through contact and get to the rack.
Here's Rivers. Offline with his 3. Bucks leading by 4. With some arc. No good from Antetokounmpo.
That's what they call the $1 million move with the 10-cent finish.
Here's Harden. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
Shooting for Houston, James Harden, taking 2 shots.
And he makes the first.
You know, even though they're down, they are putting on a show at the free throw line this half.
I think they've done a good job of making the most of their chances at the line, and they've got to keep it up to take the lead.
Harden hits them both. The Bucks have gone 3 of 5 here in the 4th quarter. Pretty good numbers coming out of the break. There's the lob to the hoop.
Excellent communication between teammates on the alley-oop there.
And that's what you need to pull that off.
Well, both ends of that play, just fantastic.
And just about 3 minutes through the 4th quarter here. Can't hit. Bucks leading by 4. He kicks to Middleton. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
At the line for your Bucks, Chris Middleton. 2 shots.
And he knocks down the first one. Both free throws good for Middleton.
Look at the free throw percentage. Unblemished since halftime, Clark. That's pretty nice.
I'd go farther than that, Steve. How about perfect?
Now a timeout called by Houston. You have to like what we're seeing from Antetokounmpo.
He just continues to light him up. They're going to have to find a way to make him work harder for his point.
Russell Westbrook's checked in for the Rockets. And out of bounds as the Bucks gain possession.
Bucks ball.
Milwaukee leading by 6. And we're about 3.5 minutes into the fourth quarter. Dishes it to Bledsoe. The feed to Lopez. Back to Bledsoe. 6 on the shot clock. From 8. And count it. 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line.
You know, with all the shots they've knocked down here in the second half, their field goal percentage has crossed the 50% mark.
Well, and that usually leads to a win. I mean, this is just very efficient offense that we're seeing tonight.
Shooting for Milwaukee, Eric Bledsoe. Shooting 1.
The free throw drops for Bledsoe. Rockets trail by 9. Harden outside to end the run. Tries to keep it alive. The rebound by the Bucks.
It just hasn't been a very good day for him, guys. They need him to start burying some of those.
No good from Antetokounmpo. Houston's gotten off 4 3-pointers in the final quarter, and 2 of them have fallen. It's Harden with the drive. Lays out. And up the court come the Bucks on the break. No good from Bledsoe. Rockets have gone 3 of 7 from the floor in the fourth. That's a 42% mark in the quarter. Here's Westbrook. Puts up the baby hook. And the bench shot is good.
I wasn't so sure he could get it turned around after that poor first half, but he's got it rolling here a little bit in the second.
Bucks leading by 7. Bledsoe gets the screen from Middleton. Antetokounmpo.
Well, I tell you what, it was the good pick that was set that turned him loose.
And once he got around it, Steve, it was smooth sailing right to the hole.
Well, because of the pick, he had plenty of room. That's why he was able to power down that slam.
Houston now, time running out. Harden outside, and here's Westbrook from the arc. That's good. Westbrook's got 12 points in just the second half.
Well, he's having a great half here. Exactly the opposite of the first.
Out of bounds, Houston takes possession.
Well, that's inexcusable to throw a pass that far off the mark.
Timeout call. 1:44 left in the fourth. It's Harden with the drive, and lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2.
That's his first personal foul. Shooting for Houston, James Harden. 2 shots.
So the first one drops, and that brings them within 5. He's perfect from the line this time.
And you can't say enough about his composure in big moments. He's as cool as they come, guys.
Timeout called the Bucks. They're up by 4. 1:37 left here in the fourth quarter.
Get ready to rise!
Here is Bledsoe.
Yo, set it up! Hey, swing it!
Pass to Antetokounmpo. Good, and Bledsoe gets the assist. Antetokounmpo's got 12 points here in the second half.
These defenders are not putting up much of a fight on the interior. It's been embarrassing. That's 10 consecutive points allowed in the lane.
And that's not the kind of streak you want to have if you're playing defense.
tries to save it.
Well, it's going to be tough for them, but you have to continue to compete. It's not over. Just play, see what happens.
Yep, you can't afford empty possessions.
Covington. It's in! What a beautiful shot to bring him to within 3.
You know, they've got to be careful not to give a shooter of his caliber open looks like that. 1 or 2 of those are all it takes to really get him going.
For Milwaukee, they've gone 7 of 11 from the floor in the final quarter so far. Been some solid looks for them. Here's the pass to Antetokounmpo. Out of bounds. Houston takes possession.
Rockets ball.
The Bucks making a switch here. Matthews is checked in. And it's the Rockets with the ball. For 3, Westbrook. The rebound by Brook Lopez. Now 8 seconds separating the 2 clocks. Guys, they're not going to be in any rush on this possession.
Not with the lead. I mean, now's the time to use the clock to your advantage. Take your time, milk the clock a little bit.
And they're getting that lead way up there now. It should be a stroll to the final whistle from here.
Yeah, this late in the game, it'd be almost impossible for them to blow a lead like this.
Now a timeout called by Houston. They're behind by 5. 19 seconds left in the 4th quarter of this one. Westbrook against Bledsoe. And Westbrook, here we go. Rejected by Matthews. And an intentional foul right there.
P.J. Tucker. That's his 2nd personal foul. 3rd team foul.
And here comes Bledsoe.
And he sniffed that steal out. Knew just the right moment to make his move.
Harden outside. Covington. And here's Westbrook from the other. And so the